Hey guys, good evening. This is Mayan, and I wanted to share with you a tutorial, or actually a try. This is going to be my first try to make this one. So what we're going to use for today would be a gum paste, black and brown. And I'm going to try to recreate what I saw in the store. Put my own twist on it, I hope. Crossing my fingers. Let's hope I get lucky with this try. Anyway, we're gonna start by making the sitting position of the bear. So normally I just eyeball it, and it looks like it's kind of big. So let's start off with a ball. Put him down like that. Now for this bear, I wanted him to be in a skeleton costume, so we have to put his legs in there, and then use a ball tool or your fingers just to make some space for his bottom paws. I don't do a whole lot of measurement. It's usually just eyeballing something and pinching it and tweaking it as we go. Press and then stick. If you work a little fast, sometimes you don't necessarily have to wet everything. They just still stick. Okay. And this is just a very basic shape when you're making cute little figures. You see that? So we're also going to use a couple balls for his arms. And when you're making that, I use my hands a lot when shaping them. So roll it, use your palm and the ends of your palm, I would say, to make that shape. Alright. As I'm thinking on how I'm making this, it's the face that's actually the hardest part. Still trying to figure out how to do it as I'm doing this, which is kind of reckless of me. Alright, so we're going to do his costume first, and we're just going to need a very little amount of white gum paste. Roll it out to a tiny strip. And what I like about figures like this is that you don't have to be dependent on any tool. You don't necessarily need a ball tool. Usually work with toothpicks and just glue, and you should be fine, you know. So most of the time I always encourage our friends here to try figures. They're very inexpensive, and you don't need a whole lot to try. At this point, when I feel the gum paste, it's still tacky, like, so things can still stick to it. Sometimes if you overdo your glue, it starts to get really ugly. Alright, so we're going to do a skeleton costume, if you haven't figured that out yet. Alright, we're going to do a skeleton costume, and you're just going to put like really small bits of white to let it mimic bones. So ribs. You know, that's a sign for me to glue it. Is it? Alright. It's still sticking good. Alright. So let's do this all over the costume, and I'll come back and show you the next step. I really don't want this to be really dragging because the more complicated part will be the face. So I want us to spend more time in making the bear face. Alright, so it's looking good. And let me finish up on the sides and I'll come back. Okay guys, so I finished putting some more white stripes or white lines on the costume, and then I put in a little whiter stripe at the bottom to mimic the hip bone. And we're going to leave it here so it sets and becomes a little firmer to be able to handle the weight of the head. Normally I wait a couple of hours before I do that, but because we're doing this right now, we're just going to have to try it. When I'm making figures, I have to put the head on there just to see if it's the right proportion and the right size. So let's put that on there. And then with the figure that I wanted to do, the bear was furry. So let me try to zoom in and let's kind of figure out what to do to recreate that. I'm using a duff tool. I know what it's called, but I also have a Wilton one. This is a number 4 and a number 5 if you have the set. And what I want to do is leave a portion or a part of the face clear and make the rest furry. So I'm going to start from the middle and start moving out and digging in as I go. Let's see if you guys can see that. So it doesn't have to be perfect, and don't overdo it. I would say I would probably overdo this. Alright, but bears are supposed to be furry anyway, so and don't worry about the back because we can easily alter the back when we put the front in. I know all the sides of the cake are important, as with figures, but if you're going to have a couple more minutes to spare or to use them in the front. And if you're going to have to sacrifice a part, sacrifice the back. Like in this scenario, as much as I would want to do it, you know, evenly, this is the way that I think would be best for the look that I'm trying to do. All right, like here, don't fret. I think it's fine, even if we've overdug one part. Try to remember that the bear is furry anyway. And we're trying to make the furry part like really smaller and smaller, just so they won't look like giant strips on his head. And right now it's starting to look like a hedgehog. Goodness. All right. You can use a flower forming cup if you want. Alright, now you can see that the front of the face is almost complete, and I've pretty much pressed on this part. I'm going to go ahead and put it on there again just to check. Let me zoom out. Just to check where we are. Alright, if it looks good, then I can go ahead and kind of balance this thing and do the back part as well. Now what I'm doing is just continue using the number 4 to go all the way back. Okay, so let me try and finish that so that we don't consume that much time. But it's pretty much the same technique. So let me finish it and then we're going to move on to the face. Okay, so you can see now that we're almost done with the head, and I've just gone and went and used the number 4 tip all the way to the back. The number 4 one is the finer one in this gum paste tool. So the next thing we're going to do is get a ball of brown, kind of eyeball it how much we need. I actually have one already set here, but to show you how I made it, use your brown, roll it into a ball, use your palm and roll it into an oval, press it down and try to smoothen or flatten the sides of it while keeping the middle part still rounded up. Alright, so you just press the sides down. So this one is a little firmer. I'm going to go ahead and, oh yeah, wait, before I put it in, I wanted to make a nose there, so I'm going to do an indent on this part. You can use your finger if you don't have the tool, it doesn't matter. And then use a tiny black ball like this that we're going to shape into a triangle using your fingers like this. And we're going to go ahead and put that over there using edible glue. Alright, can you see? Great. We're also going to use the same tool in making a small indent from the middle, going all the way down. Try and see at this point if you have everything in the middle. Alright, so dab a little tylose glue or edible glue on the face and do the same with your gum paste. So he's looking pretty handsome. Alright. He is looking handsome. Alright, then for his ears we're going to use 2 teardrop shaped ones. Well, you can do that. Get a ball, gum paste, roll it, put it in your palm, and use your finger to taper one end and have the end still rounded. Use your ball tool, make an indent, pinch it a bit, cut it. Now we're going to use that as his ears. Alright, now that you can see that it's pretty fuzzy on those parts of his head, you can use any flattening tool that you have, or still the same ones that we've used before. Try to think about where you want to put them. Just flatten it a bit, not too much, and don't make a gaping hole over there, just enough so that the glue is going to come in and the ears are going to stick. With the bear that I'm trying to imagine, I really don't want him to have many extremely prominent features, so we're going to keep his ears small. And then when you put the eyes, I'm just going to use 2 small black dots for his eyes. before I glue them, if I need to glue them, I have to see where they go and see if this one is good or if I should move. I'm so clumsy right now, I hate it. Or if I should move it a little further up. Like, don't even worry about shape and stuff, just put him over there and just... Alright, he looks pretty good, but I want him to have smaller eyes, so we're gonna get this and we're gonna slice it in the middle to ensure that we have two small balls the same size. Glue them a little bit and I'm so clumsy. I have like big fat fingers. Okay. I'm gonna try to fix it. Okay, he looks pretty cute. Alright, and then the last couple things that we need to do would be his hands and his paws. And what I like about this is that it doesn't have to be exact. And we're still going to use the same technique that we did for the head and just lightly texturize the gum paste. So let me do that for these couple circles that we're going to use for his paws. And alright, in the same manner, I'm just trying to distress or texturize the sides, and we're going to leave a mark in the middle because I'm going to put another dot over there. Alright, let me finish this one. And then I will show you the finished product. Okay, so for the final part, we're just going to add his hands, which is just your teardrop shaped brown gum paste, and stick it in there. Okay, now it's up to you. If you want it to be more defined, you can add just a little indent. Make him look like a real teddy bear. And then, oops, I forgot to glue this one. And then you can also add a couple accessories, like his really tiny Halloween bag that I put some sprinkles in, which is cute. Okay guys, so that's it. I hope you like him. And then when I do figures like this, I usually cling wrap them overnight just so they can set, and then air dry them the next day or put it in front of the dehumidifier. So there you go. My dear friend Laura, you have inspired me tonight and pushed me to make my little inspired Halloween inspired bear. Hope you guys like it. Thank you again, and you have a great day. Thanks, bye.